Hi, today we're going to be taking a look at an old Super Mario Brothers comic. This is Super Mario Brothers number 3, put out by Valiant Comics in 1990. Valiant Comics was created by Jim Shooter, who used to be editor-in-chief at Marvel before this, and moved on to, well, I think he got fired from Marvel, but he moved on to Valiant Comics. And what Jim Shooter really wanted to do was create a whole superhero universe there to rival Marvel and DC. And for a brief shining moment, that did happen. He bought characters from Gold Key Comics that were published around maybe the 60s or so. Magnus Robot Fighter, um, Solar Man of Adam, and Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and built new characters around them, like Exo Manowar, etc. And I mean, those were great comics. They're some of the shining examples of great comics of the 1990s, like mainstream comics. But just before that, Jim Shooter, I guess, needed to drum up some capital, and so had licensing rights for Nintendo comics and wrestling comics. And for a brief period in time in the 90s and briefly in 1991, Valiant Comics put out Super Mario Brothers comics, um, Legend of Zelda comics, Captain N comics, and some other comics that mixed in other groupings as well, like Metroid, etc. And also comics based on the WWF characters at the time, mostly Ultimate Warrior. These comics did not sell well, and nowadays they're eagerly sought after in the back market. Comics like this one can go from anywhere from 100 to about like 400 or something if they're in good condition. Mine is not. I read the heck out of these things as a kid. I was 12 or 13. In 1990, Super Mario Brothers 3 had come out here in North America, and I was all over that. And of course, we were eagerly anticipating the Super Nintendo coming out the year after. So I bought this at a direct sales. One thing that's really confusing about Super Mario Brothers comics around this time is Valiant put out two series. There's one series in 1990 and another series in 1991. So this is issue 3 from the 1990 series, and I have an issue 3 as well. And this confused me for a long time. So this is from the 1991 series. Um, Let's open this. And I like how this has the official Nintendo licensed product. So yes, it is a licensed product. Another thing that might confuse people is around this time, maybe just a little after this, Nintendo Power had Super Mario Adventures comics. And I think a lot of people know that more than this. But these are sought after because it is the on-brand Super Mario characters. Now, at this point, Mario 3 just came out, and so most of the stuff that you'll see here is Super Mario Brothers 2 concepts and designs. And here's an ad for a Puss in Boots game, which has been long forgotten from Electro Brain. Never played it. I remember this being advertised a lot in magazines. So here's the first story, Bedtime for Drainhead. It says by Bill Valley, Mark McLean, George Wildman, Pizzarito, and Jade Kingman-Hui. It doesn't tell you what they all do. They just give you credits in the side. And that happens a lot in these old Nintendo comics from Valiant. So Mario's groggy. He's been reading this comic book called Dirk Drainhead all night. And Luigi rushes in and tells Mario that Toad has been kidnapped. So Toad is a little mushroom character from Super Mario Brothers 2. And Mario, half asleep, goes out into the world to rectify this. He goes into the Super Mario Brothers 2 sort of world. So here he's hopping on these clouds coming out of the door here and fighting characters in Super Mario Brothers 2, which I thought was pretty awesome. And Luigi and the princess are sort of stunned that like Mario is just zipping through all these guys, and they're all like, "Oh my God, he's on a rampage!" And here, of course, Mario defeats a character from Super Mario Brothers 2 with their own egg, and goes in and defeats Bowser. Bowser doesn't know what's going on here, and Mario rescues Toad, and then um, Bowser's waiting on the king here and everything, and then he realizes Mario captured me single-handedly in his sleep, and they're like, well, yeah, it looks like that's what happened. For whatever reason, not only is Bowser angry, but everyone else is angry at Mario as well. He got the job done. I don't know what the problem is. And then he just cozies up on the throne and reads one of his comics. Very kiddie, very kid friendly. These were never going to be gritty, serious comics. They're always going to go for a joke or a laugh. Here's an offshoot of Mile High Comics, Nice, a new issue Comics Express, and show you like, oh, all over the world we can ship. Um, the whole Mile High comics ads in comics sort of died around the 90s. I don't think it's the internet that did that. I think it's like probably other avenues like phone hotlines or something. I don't know, but like the internet, I remember that coming into prominence around 93, 94. That's when I at least saw the first like fan sites, etc. Um, but yeah, it's, I mean, and e-billing wasn't really worked out back then. You probably still had to phone someone and give your credit card information. And here's an ad for Game Boy comics. I had the Game Boy comics. You know, I thought they were fascinating. I didn't like the idea that so the whole concept of the Game Boy comics was this kid has a Game Boy where characters from Super Mario Land Part One pop out. So here they all are. There's Tatanga. Here's a hopping vampire, which was really big in Hong Kong cinema of the 1980s on into the early to mid 90s, and so Mario fights these guys that hop out of the Game Boy. A weird concept. I would much rather just see adventures in Super Mario Land itself. Fighting Tatanga. I love Tatanga only because maybe he's a character that's not really used that much. He's sort of like Wart in Super Mario Brothers 2. It's like bring some old characters back. The other weird thing about Super Mario Brothers 2 is if you played that game, it's all in Mario's head. It's a dream. And of course, that was a game that came from another game, right? And they reskinned it for Mario. But here it's all very real. It's not part of his dream. Even though Mario is in this comic on theme and on point from Super Mario Brothers 2, he's groggy and half asleep. Here's a Fry Guy High yearbook. I like these small little one-off things where they do little stories about other characters in the world of Mario. Here's Fry Guy from Super Mario Brothers 2, just causing mayhem all throughout his life and burning down his high school. Sure, right? It's fun. It's weird. These guys are the Koopa Kids from Super Mario Brothers 3, which was brand new for all of us reading this comic when this came out. I had this. I loved this. So this Nintendo comic system, it's like a bigger, thicker comic that had a whole bunch of, it's a grab bag of different Nintendo stories. So you got Zelda, you got Captain N. Metroid and Punch-Out didn't have their own titles, so it's cool to have, like, read stories in this from that. And of course, Super Mario Brothers. Here it is. There's a nice, big, thick volume. The Punch-Out comic in this was really great. To the point where I was like, why don't they make a cartoon? Why don't they make a whole like Nintendo comic title for this? This would be great. But yeah, one day I'll get to this one. It's pretty awesome. And here Luigi is going through the Mario Museum. I like that there's like different stories and stuff, so it's a whole grab bag of different kinds of adventures here. Here's an ad for Nintendo Power. Of course, you gotta sneak that in. It's on the centerfold here. You can subscribe to it. Nintendo Power is now legendary. People trade it and stuff over the internet. I don't think it's really gone up in price. I could be wrong, but I think it's because so many people had them. They're not that rare. And here's an ad for Captain N, the Game Master. I had a bunch of these as well. Captain N, of course, was a cartoon that was on, I think it was NBC, you know. And because of that, was very, 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 very popular. It had some strange interpretations of the characters, like Mega Man was in it, and Mega Man um, talked like he gargled with Drano or something, and Kid Icarus was in it. A weird sort of version of Simon Belmont from Castlevania. Um, Here, this story is going to use Super Mario Brothers 3 imagery. So here you have Mario in his frog suit, and can't remember what the story is here. He goes to he goes to um, oh, there's a bowling ball made of like meatballs or something like that. I don't know. and and, uh, and I can't remember what happens. I know that the princess eats a real bowling ball at the end, which is really stupid. But it's a kid comic, right? And so Mario goes. I can't remember what his mission is here, but I just love that the ocean world here from Super Mario Brothers 3. There are a whole bunch of characters from that, like these dudes. Big Bertha here. One character tries to hook Mario up with Big Bertha. It's really weird, and so she's like, "Are you my new boyfriend?" Um, Problematic nowadays, I guess, uh, but Big Bertha is the character from Super Mario Bros. 3 with the little fish that comes out and everything. Um, and here there's a whole bunch of characters. That guy's, of course, from Super Mario Bros. 1 onward. And so once Big Bertha touches Mario, he turns back to regular Mario and he's not a frog anymore. She's disappointed. And then here the princess reveals that she ate a real bowling ball. Sure. I thought this was kind of dumb, but I love the whole ocean world that they showed here. You know, like do more like that. You know, do one where he's in the ice world or the giant world or something like that. Here's the family album. This is John Walker, Don Danglo, P. Zarito, Ken Lopez, and Kingman Hui. And here you have, you know, when Mario's a baby, he has stubble already. He's plumbing and stuff. And then when he's a kid, of course, he has the mustache and everything. Luigi is depicted as the younger brother. I think that's always been the case. I could be wrong. I know that's the case in the 90s movie, the live action movie. And here you have Mario on sale. Mario 4. I think I have this one too. And here's a letters page, and it's kids, you know, writing in stuff. Here, like, you know, this guy is like, you better have Captain N in your comics or I'll fry you. Captain N turned up in other people's comics, like Mario comics and stuff, and then had his own title. Very, very popular, as I said before. And here is a subscription page, of course. So Super Mario Brothers. There was also another title called Adventures of the Super Mario Brothers, so that added to confusion. Legend of Zelda comics, Captain N Game Master comics, Game Boy comics, and Nintendo Comic System, which is sort of the Disney Comics and Stories version of Nintendo Comics, where it's just a whole grab bag of Nintendo stories. And here you have the Activision ad for their terrible games. You got Ghostbusters 2, Archon, Stealth, ATP, I think it's called. ATF, sorry. And Three Stooges, which is getting somewhat of a discovery again nowadays. And here you have Kwirk. And Kwirk wasn't exactly a super duper popular character, but was part of a very forgotten cartoon called Team Power, I think it was called, for the show Video Power, which was a live action show where kids played video games, but they had cartoon segments called Team Power. And it was sort of like Captain N with a whole bunch of video game characters teamed up. But it's all a bunch of Z-list characters that no one cares about. There's a dude from, I think it's Kuros from Wizards and Warriors, Kwirk, some dude from Double Dribble, Tyrone, I think his name was, and Bigfoot from like Bigfoot, which was a big monster truck from the video game Bigfoot, which is funny because Sunbow had done a Bigfoot cartoon a couple years before that for the Bigfoot toy line, Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines. But here was Bigfoot again from the video game. Who wants to see a cartoon where the Bigfoot monster truck, a dude from Double Dribble, a dude from Wizards and Warriors and Kwirk team up? It's weird. It's and I think it's fairly forgotten. But hey, the Quirk game is cool for Game Boy. You know, whatever. This is a very, very, very forgotten character, I think. And here you go. This is the Mario I know. I just want to say that too because um, I'm a child of the '80s and early '90s, and to me, well, at least for Mario, and to me, Mario is a plumber from Brooklyn. He talks with a Brooklyn accent. I went to university in the late '90s, early 2000s. I gave up games, and when I came back, the 3D revolution had already happened. But along with that, Mario 64 rewrote the book on Mario, and Mario now talked like a cartoon character with a very stereotypical like Italian accent, and he's remained like that ever since. And it to me, it's a step backwards. It seems in a world where everyone is very sensitive to stereotypes. I thought it was strange that Mario took a step back, and now people don't accept any version of Mario that's not like, "Hi, it's me, Mario." It's weird. Back in these days, in Super Mario Brothers Super Show cartoon and live action as well with Captain Lou Albano playing him, the '90s movie, the Super Mario World cartoon, the Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon. He was a Brooklyn plumber and he had a Brooklyn accent, and that was it. And now he's I think forever changed. But this is a snapshot of Mario as I remember him back then. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't think a lot of people, a lot of newer Mario fans know about these old Valiant comics based on Nintendo comics. They're pretty good. They look good. And they're made for kids. You know, let's face it. I mean, they're not going to be like super serious or anything. Hope you enjoyed.